Okay, so for MD2, it's going to be all the work that you did in MD1, but now you're just going to be doing word problems, okay? So let's get going on that. Let me get a pen, I know you can see. Okay, so make sure whenever you do a word problem that you don't just immediately go straight to the numbers and assume that you're multiplying or dividing. You have to think about really what is the story asking you to do. So Mrs. Smith's class is making sparkling lemonade for a class party. Marta brings 4 liters of lemonade and Billy brings 2,000 milliliters of lemon lime soda. How many liters of sparkling lemonade will the class have for their party? So what that says to me, so look, sparkling lemonade, that says to me that they're going to take the lemonade and the lemon lime soda and they're going to combine it, okay? So Marta brought 4 liters, so 4 liters, and Billy brought 2,000 milliliters. And if you want to abbreviate milliliters, and you might see it sometimes like this, it's going to look like that. And I believe the L stays big like that. So we need to get them, just like with fractions, when we get common denominators, we're going to need to get our units the same in order to really be able to combine them, okay? So if I know that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters and we have 2,000 milliliters, if you look at our chart here, then that means that this must be 2 because 1, if we're going this way, it's times 1,000, right? 1 times 1,000. And if we have 2,000, we could also divide backwards and know that if we divide by 1,000, it's going to be 2, right? So now we know that Marta brought 4 liters and that this 2,000 is 2 liters because this was milliliters. So they want to know how many liters of sparkling lemonade. So that means they took this lemonade and this lemon lime soda, like Sprite, and they combined them. So that means our equation will be 4 plus 2, and that would equal 6. 6 what? 6 liters. Because with word problems, we always want to have a unit, but you always also want to look at the problem, like if you're on RISE or on Schoology, and see if it's asking you for the units or not, okay? All right, for this second one, it says Dominic weighed an apple and a watermelon. Good morning. And the apple weighed 5 ounces. So over here, I just like to take notes as I'm working. 5 ounces. The watermelon weighed 20 pounds. So that's a big watermelon, 20 pounds. So again, OZ is our abbreviation for ounces, and then LBS is our unit for our abbreviation for pounds. How many more ounces did the watermelon weigh? So again, if we're going to be adding, subtracting, we need the same unit, okay? So we know in 1 pound, there's 16 ounces. So in 20 pounds, we're going to multiply by 16. So we're going to do 20 times 16. So I can do 16 times 2 because I know I can just add that 0 at the end, which we learned at the beginning of the year. So 16 times 2, 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2 plus 1 more is 3. So that the 2 times 16 gives us 32. So over here we can put 32 and we have to add the 0, okay? So our 20 pounds is the same as 320 ounces. So now we can over here put 320 ounces. So now if we go back to our question, we're not just converting that. Look what it says. How many more ounces did the watermelon weigh? So now we need to take that 320 and subtract the 5. Okay? So if I was to cover this, I'm doing 20 minus 5, right? You could write out the full subtraction, but that would be 15. So that means it would be 315. And again, if it's a story problem, how many more ounces? So we got to label that 315 with ounces. So there's our answer right there, okay? If you don't understand, like if you watch this and you're like, Mrs. Baines, what did you just do? Rewatch it and see what step you missed. Don't just copy this down because when you go to do the boom cards, that's not going to help you. Okay? This one. One insect is 47 millimeters long. Another insect is 3 centimeters long. Okay? what is the total length in millimeters of insect? So if we're going from 1 centimeter to 10 millimeters, we're going to go from small to big, which means we're going to go times 10. So if we're going from 3, we're going to go times 10. That's going to give us 30, okay? So the total length in millimeters of the insects. So that means we're going to take our 47 millimeters. And if it's the total length, they're asking about if we add them together. So that means it's 47 plus 30. Okay, so I'll just rewrite it. There's our equation. And you know what? Maybe you can always add that variable. So we'll put L for length. So 40 plus 37. I just rewrote it right here so I can do that. 7 plus 0 is 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. So our total is 77, and then you could just do M for millimeters. So I'm putting boxes around our answers because we have a lot of work on this one, okay? All right, so on these ones, it's been really great because it's had the chart, but now you got to work on using, let me see, is that clear for you? Using your resources, okay? So on this one, for standard length, it says Mackenzie's dog can jump 2.5 feet off the ground. Jordan's dog can jump a 1/2 foot off the ground. What is the difference in inches between how high Mackenzie's dog can jump and how high Jordan's dog can jump? So first of all, if we want difference, we're going to subtract them, right? So we're going to do 2 1/2 minus 1/2, which seems, you're like, okay, sweet, easy peasy, it's 2, right? But that's feet. And the question is asking for inches. So now we have to switch it, right? So if you can't remember, you're just going to flip back to your blue resource page. And we're looking for how many inches in a foot. So that's customary. We go to length. 1 foot is 12 inches. So we're going to do our 2, because that's how many feet we have, times 12, because that's how many inches are in 1 foot. And I know that 12 times 2 is 24. And so our answer is in inches. So I'm just going to box it so I know that's my answer. Okay? All right, capacity. Stan has 4 pints of milk. Gianna has twice as much milk as Stan. How many fluid ounces of milk? How many ounces? So we need to make sure. Our question is pints, but our answer needs to be in ounces. Sometimes when I do that, when it switches down here, I'll write ounces. Okay, so I know that that's what my answer needs to be. So 4 pints, I'm going to get it over, and I know that she has twice as many. So I'm going to do 4 times 2, and that gives me how many pints, right? If I go back to my blue page, I know I'm in customary, and I know that that's going to be, I'm going to go from pints to ounces, but I need to get the cups first, right? So if I have 8 pints, I know that in every pint there's 2 cups. So I got to go from pints to cups. So 8 times 2, that gives me 16 cups. And now from the cups, I can get to ounces, right? So in 1 cup there's 8. So now I have to do 16 cups times 8 ounces. So 6 times 8 is 48. So I'll put my 8 there, my 4 there. 1 times 8 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now I'm finally in ounces, so my answer is 128 ounces, okay? Weight. David's backpack weighs 8 pounds with all of his supplies. If he takes out 5 notebooks weighing 5 ounces each, how much will his backpack weigh? So we're starting out with pounds, so 8 pounds. And remember, your abbreviation for pounds is LBS, okay? If he takes out 5 notebooks weighing 5 ounces each, so he's going to take out 5 notebooks, 5 ounces. That means that he took out 25 ounces, but we're working with pounds, right? So if I go over, I know for 1 pound is 16 ounces. So I'm going to take away, because I'm trying to figure out how much pounds, right? So 25 minus 16, because I want to know how many pounds I have. So 5 minus 6 I can't do. I'm going to turn this into a 1. 15 minus 6 is 9. 1 minus 1 is 0. So I have 1 whole pound plus 9 ounces. That's how much he took out, right? So if I started with 8 pounds, I can take away that whole pound. So that gives us 7, right? And then I'm going to regroup the last set of ounces. So it's going, I took away this pound. Now I need to take away the 9 ounces. So I'm going to take away a whole another pound, and I'm at 6 pounds, and I have 16 ounces because there's that pound I took away was 16. 16 minus 9 is 7. So his leftover weight is 6 pounds and then 7 ounces. Okay? All right. Metric length. Lauren lives 2 tenths of a kilometer from Alex. Alex lives 3 times as far from Colin's house than Lauren's house. How far away does Alex live from Colin? So Alex lives 3 times as far from Colin's house. So if it's 0.2, we go times 3. So we could go 0.2 plus 0.2 plus 0.2, and that leaves us with 0 and 6 tenths, right? And that's how far away. So if you don't know how to do this, you just can do your repeated addition. And it was 0 and 6 tenths kilometers. And our abbreviation for that is KM. Okay? All right, metric capacity. So you're noticing all of these are multiple steps. So you just have to really slow down and think about what makes sense. Javier poured 500 milliliters of lemon juice and 2 liters of water in a pitcher to make lemonade. How many milliliters of lemon juice and water did he pour into the pitcher in all? So again, we have 2 liters and we have 500 milliliters. So we need to get this switched over. So I'm going to go to my blue page. If I'm going from liters to milliliters, it's going to be times 1,000, okay? And we want our answer in milliliters because that's what the question is asking. So if we have 2 liters, we're just going to go times 1,000. So that means it's going to be 2,000 milliliters now plus 500 milliliters. So if I look at my place value, I know the 5 can just go right there. So it's 2,500 milliliters. And I'm going to box my answer. Okay, metric mass. A bag of potatoes has a mass of 4 kilograms. Some potatoes are taken out. The mass is now 2,305 grams. What is the mass of the potatoes in grams that were taken out? So the bag had 4 kilograms. We want to get it to grams. So if we're going back over here, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, okay? So for the 4 kilograms, that's what we're starting with. So let's do 4. Again, let me make sure I don't forget, kilograms to grams. We're going to go times 1,000. And that gives us 4,000, okay? And then we know that it's now 2,305. So they want to know how much was taken out. So we're going to subtract this. So 2,305 to find the difference. So we're going to have to do some regrouping. That's good practice. So 10, 9, 10, 9, 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 0 is 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. So the amount that was taken out was 1,695 grams. G is the abbreviation for grams. Okay. Jaden read to his little sister for 10 minutes on Saturday and 12 minutes on Sunday. How many seconds did he read to her on Saturday and Sunday? So 10 minutes, I'm going to add them together first. So 10 minutes plus 12 minutes equals 22 minutes, right? And then they want to know how many seconds. So I know in my head, I'm not going to have to look at the sheet, that 22 times 60, okay? And I know I can do just the 6 because I know there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. So 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 more is 13. So it'd be 132, seconds. I am out of time, okay? So just go ahead and solve this one on your own. You can always show it to your teacher to ask her to check it. But for all of these, you just need to figure out what you're converting look at what you need to get to and what you started with.